So when it comes to Shiba Inu, a lot of things are actually flipping quite bullish right now. And in fact, it wouldn't surprise me if the market continues to show sustainability, if we do in fact continue to rise to the upside. But this article I stumbled across this morning is actually suggesting that SHIB may dump 30% before this massive rally. So are we going to have a 30% pop or a 30% drop? That's the question I want to discuss. Now, you need to understand that the charts never play out 100% correct. Sometimes they do, but they're, for the most part, very sporadic. And Shiba Inu is something that is very heavily influenced by sentiment. So when sentiment is good, SHIB tends to perform well. When sentiment is bad, SHIB doesn't perform the greatest. And what this is specifically referring to is this fair value gap. So as sentiment really improved in the market and things began to explode, Shiba Inu went parabolic and left basically this imbalance in the charts, this gap of fair value. All right. Now, what this is basically talking about is how a lot of times assets will come down and try to retest this fair value gap. In fact, we got very close to this on that big wick down that we experienced in the market, this big drop down for Shiba Inu that put us all the way down into almost the mid 4012 ranges that we haven't seen basically since our way up. Now, what I have to say is this, is things are actually flipping very bullish for Shiba Inu right now. In fact, there's many metrics that have shown just this. For example, the RSI is at 44.4 and climbing. This indicates market participants are bullish and the price may continue moving higher. We also had the Chaikin money flow cross the zero line, which indicates bullish pressure is starting to dominate. We've seen whale buying increase. We have seen wallets on the rise, and the overall sentiment in the market as a whole is frankly improving. We are absorbing a lot of this dumping a lot easier. Institutional money is buying. And remember, as sentiment picks up, SHIB starts to perform better overall. Now, what is a key move for Shiba Inu here that may create this 30% pop instead of 30% drop is SHIB has to cross this 20-day moving average. This has served as a critical point of resistance for Shiba Inu when it's below it, and it is a critical point of support for Shiba Inu when it is above it. So we have seen many times in the charts where Shiba Inu has been fighting this line, finally broken it, and it's turned this 20-day into support. It actually helps lift the price of Shiba Inu up. We even saw that back here as we tried to make our break into our break box. And now we've just been basically fighting this on the way down. You guys can see that subsequent surge following our big drop. The funny thing about this article actually is it said that SHIB was one of the most affected by the drop. And yeah, it's because sentiment was, scary, right? Scary. And yet SHIB actually surged back and it was one of the best performing assets on the recovery. So that just shows you what SHIB is doing. Right now, we're kind of at this point where over the past few days, SHIB volatility has gotten very tight. We're very, very slowly but surely approaching this 20-day moving average. And if SHIB can flip this as this 20-day starts to flatten out, we can actually create a little bit of a pop here, which SHIB does in fact try to take a surge at some of these moving averages. In fact, almost 30% pop would be well within the cards. That'd be getting above this 4020 range. It's a range that SHIB was showing actually very good support in before the market just frankly kind of went to crap. Okay. Now, as always, this is not a guarantee. This is not financial advice. We're very much dependent on a lot of the rest of the market right now. Remember, we're at still this point where capital is matriculating around the space. We're not seeing new capital flow in, which is where SHIB tends to perform its best. Positive sentiment, new capital, new holders. SHIB tends to be one of the best places for those new users to flock to. Okay. So right now, we are above our long-term trend line, which is a great sign. That's good support for us. We're on top of this liquidity box. I've said that this was kind of that critical moment for Shiba Inu, the make or break moment. And luckily, we've made it so far. So as long as the market continues to do well, if BTC keeps climbing, we have this approval of Ethereum spot ETFs, don't be surprised if we're more likely to do this 30% pop than 30% drop. Now, again, guys, this is not financial advice. This is not a guarantee. Again, things can change very quickly in the market. We could see a big dump. We could see BTC drop to 52K. At the same time, we could get into some of these short liquidations and see BTC surge, over 60, close to 61. See Shiba Inu really push this 4019 range and try to breach some of those levels that we're talking about. So I appreciate you guys as always. It's nice to see that things are flipping bullish. It's nice to see sentiment improving. And finally, people are getting, I think, a little bit happier when it comes to Shiba Inu, especially those that bought deep in this dip. So appreciate you as always. Have a great day. Show your love below. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.